Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to start everybody off by, of course, welcoming everybody here to our series entitled Diluting wal Bara. And tonight, what we're going to speak about, the class is not going to be long because we have another class. My cousin Mukhtar will be coming on at 7 to do the life of Khalid bin Walid. But tonight, what I'm going to do is an introduction to the next chapter that we're going to be covering in this book, which will be the chapter addressing how to implement allegiance and disassociation, even when it comes to sports. Everybody likes sports. What does Islam say about it? We had the Olympics that just ended, and a lot of people ask also about that. Sister Layla, is it lawful to watch the Olympics and all of that? Well, this is what we're going to be covering in tonight's lecture. So let's put the PowerPoint. Excuse me. Let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen for tonight's discussion. And this is just going to serve, like I said, as an introduction to what we're going to be speaking about over the next course, the next week, or the next 2 weeks, inshallah. And give me a second here to set it up. Okay, inshallah, everyone should be able to see the PowerPoint. Okay. All right. And so tonight we're going to be speaking about how to implement allegiance and disassociation when it comes to the sports. And this is a very important topic for everyone because, like I said, everybody likes sports. Some of your kids may even participate in them. So what does Islam have to say about the whole process of sports? Well, sports holds a very remarkable position with the people because it brings us together. Despite what cultures and backgrounds we come from, we all like to gather together and be inspired by sports and entertained as a result of sports. And as Muslims, when we engage in the world of sports, we also bring our values, our ethics, and the principle of wal Bara to it as well. And it's not a matter of is it haram to participate in sports. It's a matter of knowing how to distance yourself from whatever goes against Islamic traditions, whatever goes against our Islamic values. So in this chapter of the book, Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid presents the rulings on the permissibility of engaging in sports and watching the sports and becoming active in them. And he also will dive into the Islamic perspective on participating in them for money. A lot of people ask that, can we do sports for money? And by examining these rulings, we can then provide clarity and guidance for the Muslims in regards to this topic. And we want to look at this verse of the Quran, where Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, spend in the way of Allah and do not throw yourselves with your own hands into destruction by refraining, and do good because Allah loves those who do good. So sports is a physical activity. Not only is it a source of something nice to look at, but by doing sports, you keep yourself active. You keep yourself in shape. And it's not only permissible, but it's also encouraged in Islam to keep ourselves actively fit, to engage ourselves in some type of program that will keep our bodies healthy and good. We have hadiths whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged the companions to engage in sports. He himself would engage in sports. We all know the famous hadith where Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, shares with her how she used to race with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Well, we also have another hadith where another companion says, I saw two companions from the Ansar, Jabir ibn Abdullah and Jabir ibn Umar. They were shooting arrows until one of them said, aren't you tired? And the other one said, yes. And then the other one that asked the question said, did you not remember hearing from the Prophet when he said everything that is not from the remembrance of Allah is futile, except for four things: a person a man who entertains his wife, a man who disciplines his horse, and also a man that engages in archery, and a man who learns to swim. So what these two companions, what the first companion was telling the other is, there's nothing wrong with what we're doing. Don't say that you want to quit because you think it's a waste of time. Because remember when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that sports is not a waste of time. We're doing archery. We're learning how to shoot arrows. So don't quit because you think this is a waste of time. Okay? So in Islam, Muslims are called upon to avoid sports or activities that cause harm or that lead to violence or that promote gambling. By upholding that stuff, that's how you stay within the guidelines of Islam in regards to sports. So what are some type of sports that can cause harm? Boxing. We don't box. Muslims are not supposed to box because this entails hitting someone in the face. If it's a sport in which you have to hit or punch another Muslim in the face or punch another Muslim in the stomach or break their back, we don't indulge in that. Okay? Everything is lawful unless Allah says otherwise. And Allah has made it so easy for us to try to gather what is lawful in regards to sports, as long as it doesn't entail gambling or drinking or betting. As long as the people are not dressed un-Islamically, that's a thing too. We're going to talk about that over the course of the next week. You see a lot of people doing sports, but they're not dressed properly. A man's aura has to be covered. And as far as women, remember we talked about that. Muslim women are not supposed to become public spectacles. A Muslim woman should not participate in the Olympics. And we're going to talk about that. Because putting your women on display like that, that's making them a public spectacle. Islam forbids that. So no women should be participating in any type of Olympics. I don't care if they are covered. I don't care if the woman got a burqa over her whole body. Women are not supposed to become public spectacles. That's not our place. A woman can spar. A woman can learn sports at home with her husband, just like Aisha radiallahu anha did, just like the female companions. Remember the Arabic women, the Arabs were warriors. All the women knew how to spar. All the women knew how to work a sword. They would spar with their brothers. They were partnered up at youth with a brother or a cousin to learn how to defend themselves. But as far as putting the women out there on display to show off their skills, this is not Islam. And anyone that tells you it is, he's got a problem. Tell them to bring the dalil. Tell them to bring the Dalil that shows where the prophet would allow the women to put themselves on display. The women participated on the battlefield, but that's different. That's war. That's your life. That's your life, your property, your family at stake. But just to parade around in the Olympics, this is not Islam. Does everybody understand that? So this is what we're going to be discussing for the next 2 weeks here at Sunnah Followers for this class. We're going to go through this chapter that addresses sports in Islam. And again, we're going to go over the hadiths. We're going to go over the Quranic verses that speak about it. I'm going to go into more detail about women because we're living in the days of fitan, where women think that they can be LGBTQ men, okay? Where women want the same rights as men when Allah already done told you what your rights are. So I'm going to stop right here. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments about this topic? Well, this is what we're going to be covering. Okay, we're talking about sports, not self-defense. Defending yourself is something different. Every Muslim on this planet, male and female, sane and insane, developmentally disabled and not developmentally disabled, should know how to defend themselves. But we're not talking about defense. We're talking about participating in sports for show. Sports are for show. That's not defense. If we were at war, all hands on deck. If we at war, all hands on deck, including the children. This ain't war. This is sports. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to stop right here and log out. I'm going to log back on because we got Mukhtar's class in 10 minutes. Since there's no comments from the peanut gallery known as my Zoom room. Okay, so I'm going to log out, guys, and I'm going to log back in about 5 minutes, inshallah, okay? Yeah, boxing is haram. Why would you box? But that ain't defending yourself. Who you defending yourself against? We ain't at war. Boxing entails beating the heck out of somebody. Is that what the Prophet taught us to do? To fight each other unnecessarily? To beat each other to death? To beat each other in the face? To punch my guts out? To punch a person's ribs in? Did Allah teach us to do that? We're not even supposed to hurt another Muslim intentionally. And that's intentionally. We don't do that. War is different. If we were at war, you can go out there and box all you want to your enemy. But can you sit around beating up your Muslim brother? No, we don't do that. And that's why we have a lot of people who were boxers that converted to Islam and stopped boxing because that's against Islam. The Prophet is clear. We cannot hit another Muslim in the face. The Prophet said anyone who hits another person or another creature in the face has the curse of Allah on them. And we're going to go over that hadith. That's why a lot of famous boxers stopped boxing when they converted to Islam. It's haram. The same with martial arts. If you want to learn MMA, you learn it. But can I participate in this? If it entails me beating people in the face, breaking their legs, no. We can't do that. That's common sense. The companions knew how to defend themselves, but they didn't go around beating each other up. And you're not going to find any hadith where they did. Bring it. What about fencing? There's nothing wrong with fencing. That's a sport. Okay? And we're going to talk about this. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. But the question is, can I do it if it's something that contradicts Islam? That's going to be the question that y'all are going to have to make. Fencing is a good thing. Every Muslim should know how to work with a sword. Every Muslim should know how to work with a bow and arrow. Every Muslim should know how to take a person down. There's nothing wrong with that. We got to fight. We're going to have the war against Islam. It's already happened. You're going to have to take somebody out. When that war hits America, you got to know how to take somebody out. I'm not saying it's haram to learn how to defend yourself. I'm telling you it's haram to participate in the Olympics and sports for fun. Do y'all understand the difference? We're talking about sports for fun and entertainment. I am a black belt in Taekwondo. I can take a 350-pound man down in 5 seconds. I can roundhouse kick you through a window. Everybody's supposed to know how to defend themselves. I can shoot a gun better than anybody. Put one in my hand. But can I go around beating up on people? Shooting people? For fun? For entertainment? No. Do y'all see what we're talking about now? Is it clear? All right. Okay, I'm going to log out and I'm going to log back on in 5 seconds. I mean, about 5 minutes. Okay. All right, guys. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.